Welcome to a special edition of Take Two. I'm joined as always by Adam Matlack and Mike Pomerantz. We're stepping away from politics for a little while today for a topic that's quite dear to all of us here at Take Two. So, with that, I'd like your take on the MLB owners and players failing to reach an agreement.
The panic button is very close here. The NFL has their crap together. The NBA is on the precipice of returning. This is a big moment. This was already going to be a big year because of labor negotiations that had already broken down, and this made the situation way worse. COVID, the whole ordeal. There was already significant amount of disagreement and hatred almost for between the owners and the players. I attribute most of this to lack of leadership on the player side. To be honest, it's not the owners. They are to get. It's a lot easier to get 30 guys to agree on something and to be unified than it is, a bunch of players who don't even really like each other and all of a sudden. I mean, it's just harder for the players union to be cohesive, to agree, and to not be manipulated by the media and all that stuff. I mean, there's a lot of leadership on that side matters deeply for this outcome, and lack of it is apparent. I think we all want baseball to return. We all want it. It's just something that just a normal thing as we go into summer when kids are home from school and this thing that's normally on. I mean, there's 162 games a year that are played on TV, 81 at home. It's so much. It's so much. It's mind-boggling how much baseball is played, and I don't even know what the take is other than the fact that I don't blame this on the owners. I blame this on the lack of leadership of the players, and I think the owners have all the power in this situation, so players are gonna have to yield. But I don't know. I'm really interested to see who the baseball fanatic here has to say about it.
I started going to baseball because there was so much of it. I was not really that into sports, and it was you'd go to a game every night. It only cost $5, and I got so into the whole chess match. Baseball is a friggin' treasure of this country. It's one of the greatest games ever devised. I could talk about the tension between pitches, what pitch is coming down. I mean, I miss that. But at the same time, I don't want to see minor leaguers. I remember these years of Rico Bronya and Midre Cummings and all these, Omar friggin' Dahl was my opening day starter one year. It's horrible. Okay, I want players. I want top line players. I want studs. I don't go to see the scrubs. I want Aaron Nola. I want Chase Utley. I want Ryan Howard. I want Cole Hamels. I want the studs. And that is why I don't think the owners are in a good position. Now, here's the slightly interesting take that I want to provide to you and get your reaction to. A guy like Harper, it's unbelievable how much money he's making. We had a discussion before we started taping. The salaries are off the rails. And certainly with Bryce Harper, you got to look pretty far to find somebody who's making more money. $350 million or something over 13 years. Okay, once you're at that level, this is my little take, you're now an owner. Okay? You have crossed the line from just being an employee. You have such an interest. For 13 years, you have such an interest in how the team progresses, in the personnel decisions. And it's time to make that more complicated relationship clear, explicit. I mean, you can say what you want about LeBron. You can say what you want about the NBA. NBA is a stars league where people go to see the stars, even if the stars don't play for their home laundry team. And also, the best of the best, the people who are the most important in the league, they control the league. And I think that is correct. The league is, in my mind, a springboard. It's an apparatus for the stars. And that's why if the stars are not happy, then the Stars shouldn't play. And if they're going to be divas and they're going to be uptight, I'm going to be ready to sit it out. I mean, this is such an extraordinary circumstance. And by the way, we've had years without baseball. I mean, we've had years without hockey. We can live with that for a little while. But I want to see the Stars. I want to see, and I want the big paychecks. So if there's a team loss, I mean, this is what I'm getting at. If the Phillies are going to lose a ton of money, I think Bryce Harper should lose some money. If he's going to take a hit, that could offset some of the lower salary players that you need to fill out a roster. So I think we need to look at these players who make so much money as integral to the ownership. And I think the Stars have to be out. I don't want to go see crappy players.
So baseball is in a unique position. And the reason why is because there is not a single sport on this planet that has more invested in the pipeline of 25 guys. I mean, literally every team has over like probably 150 signed players waiting, begging, would do anything to show up to play baseball in those stadiums. And not all of them are bad. Not all of them are jockeys who are just terrible who are gonna stink up the place. Many of them will appear very similar to many of the others without the bonus of the Stars. And look, you're a purist, and it's fair, and it's obvious, and that's clear. But let me tell you something: most baseball fans aren't. Most baseball fans cheer without knowing a seat. You ever been to? When's the last time you got a baseball fan and listen to the fans? They don't know who they are. They don't know what's going on. They don't track the pitches. They don't know, oh, is this a fastball? Is this a curveball? What's a curveball? I mean, come on, man. You're in the minority here. Like, don't get me wrong. Most of these people want to see the big names, and the big names matter, and they carry weight. But there is no sport better positioned for owners to replace these guys. And most of the fans, overwhelming majority, are rooting for outcomes, not watching a game to watch one cool webcam out of 4.5 hours. They're there to watch their team win. And if they're wearing the Stars or the pinstripes or that Boston B, there's going to be a lot of people out there to watch. And that's the reality of the leverage of this situation, in my opinion, that the owners can replace them with no work, none. They don't have to do anything. They have to just go, well, hey, real quick, who are all these guys' names? Hey, make them jerseys and call them up and get them in here and shove them on the field. And then and by the way, it's easier for them to have 30 teams agree to it too. And within, I would guess, within days, you'd have people crossing, and it would be disaster. The owners have all the leverage, as far as I'm concerned, as long as they're willing to go nuclear, and they are, I think. And so, I think it would be fun. I personally think, because I'm a purist. Don't get me wrong. I want to see the best. I really do. I do care about the outcome. Probably more. I'd rather watch bad baseball than no baseball, or maybe not bad baseball. I mean, as long as it's like comparable to some degree, it's gonna be, there's gonna be home runs. There's gonna be all the same thing. Probably more errors, maybe, whatever. Right? And maybe that might be more fun to watch, because sometimes baseball sucks and sometimes it's boring. And so, there is a fifth starter. On every team, there's a fifth starter, and they march him out there. And depending on which game you're going to, it looks a lot like minor league baseball. And so they're still selling out those games oftentimes on those fifth starter days. So, and even on the four starter days. So I don't know. I mean, I think they have all the leverage, and I think if they use it, it'll be over very fast.
Do you remember? We were growing up, we used to see the commercials, Girls Gone Wild. This is Unions Gone Wild. I mean, I think about a union as being like initially about like keeping people safe. And I know that there's health aspects to the players' unions in these gigantic multi-billion-dollar sports leagues. But I mean, this is more about like putting a squeeze on. And I don't even know. I'm a little embarrassed. I don't even know if the minor leaguers are covered by the collective bargaining agreement, if they could be the scabs. I'm old enough to remember the scabs in the NFL, and I did not enjoy that. And that's, part of where I'm coming from in regard to this. Plus, I'm generally pro labor, so that's another part of it. I just think if they want to get back and they want to recognize what sort of the customer base is interested in, and I think it's both. Like, there's a lot of people who are going to be in the purist camp, and there's a lot of people who are going to be sort of in the pastime camp. And it's great that baseball can sell to both of those communities under ideal circumstances. But man, figure this stuff out. They negotiate in public with such rancor, and it just sounds like they don't care. I mean, what was the last one for the players? Just tell us when to show up, and we'll show up. I mean, we don't want a deal. We're going to just wing it. It's not the way I would hope sophisticated business interests related. If they did relate this way, I would like them to do it closed doors. If it's in public like this, it's just going to make more and more bad feelings, and ultimately they're squandering such a tremendous opportunity. First of all, the game itself, like, people are generally far away from each other. I mean, it fits with like COVID-19. Just get back there and start playing. I do think you're right that there would be a great relief, and people would go to see, even if it's not the top flight product right away, because it's still the game, it's still the pastime, it's still the summer. You go out, you drink a beer, you listen to it. I mean, I love listening on the radio, regardless of who's playing. So
ESPN aired a horse tournament that was awful, and it got actual viewers.
Yeah, that's right.
Also, MLBPA does not cover or represent minor league baseball, so they're not part of it.
It would be a sad day for unions, but again, this is not the teachers' union. This is not the SEIU. This is a millionaires union. So I'm not.
It doesn't hurt these people as badly. That's part of the public opinion is always in the past, and there's something fascinating about that too, right? Like, it'd be interesting to hear your take on that, because it used to be about, well, who is the public going to blame? What does it matter? I don't understand. Who cares what? Like, would you think a player like gives a crap if some Joe Blow down the street like thinks that it's his fault that there's no baseball? He doesn't care. Like, no one can. Like, it doesn't matter. You're not going to lose. We were looking at the gates earlier. There's literally like 100 million attendees a year or something stupid like that. Close to. I mean, it's probably closer to 80 million or something like that. But there's 80 million tickets or gate through a year out of all the baseball. That's a crap load of people. It's a crap load of games, and you might lose some because like the disputes or whatever. But I mean, when the owners are looking at it, it's all, you say it often. Negotiation all about leverage. I don't think.
It is. It is.
I don't think they have any.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that if the owners can't understand, or if the players want to just have all. See, I've been an employee for a lot of my life. Okay, being an employee is great. You don't have to worry about all this stuff. You can just show up, do your job, get your paycheck. Everything's cool. Okay, when you're making as much as these employees are making, I really think there has to be more responsibility. And so it's not fair for a guy like Bryce Harper to make basically whatever it is, a third of the value of the entire team over the course of his contract, and not say baseball has been, assaulted by this virus just like every other business. What can I do to help? And that doesn't mean making a donation at the Red Cross. That means getting back to playing baseball, and maybe, like I understand the little guys don't want to get hurt, so the big guys need to help them out. And then you can have both. You can have the pastime and you can have the stars. But boy, the way it's going now, they might not play at all this year.
Maybe not. Let's hope not.
Bad. Very bad.
All right. That's all the time we have. Adam and Mike, thanks for your thoughts today. If you enjoyed our off topic discussion, be sure to let us know in the comment section and hit the like and subscribe button while you're there. Thanks again. We hope you join us for the next edition of Take Two, presented by leftrightpolitics.com.